I'm sure that we all have questions bugging our minds this morning. But the question we want to ask this morning on Citizens Forum is very simple and straightforward. Although it may be a very naughty issue, we're trying to untie the knot around it. The question is, how feasible is free education in Nigeria? In looking at the present economic reality and downturn that we have recorded in recent time. Well, before the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, the debate has been on. You have state governments trying to implement the policy, talking about free education. Campaigns usually wash with these promises of free education. Some are always realistic and say, well, I may not be able to do this, but I can only subsidize. When you say subsidizing education, you may be talking about excuse me, you may be talking about payment of WAEC fees, so that will at least alleviate the burden of the parent. Sometimes it could be paying tuition, just tuition. Sometimes it could be some kind of development levy on the part of the parent. Well, when you look at all this, the issue remains that people still want that type of free education policy run by the then government of the late sage chief Obafemi Awolowo, where all students were going to school and even given food without the parents doing nothing, being responsible for nothing. And that is exactly what comes to mind when people hear free education. The question now is that realistic now? Is that still possible? Some will say, yes, it is possible. They should be able to prioritize and then make it happen. Really, is it the same population that we had then that we still have now? And if you look at what is happening in those states, you realize that it is almost creating another political tension in that state. The governor met a free education policy, that is Mr. Rotimi Akeredolu SAN. He's saying that, okay, let the stakeholders meet and review the situation. A summit was organized, and the stakeholders in the education sector in the state are recommending the discontinuation of the free education program in the state. The House of Assembly members have kicked, saying no until we argue it very, very well on the floor of the chamber. And then we will determine whether it is feasible or not. And of course, the Commissioner for Information, who we are hoping to speak with on the show this morning, if the meeting he's having with Mr. Governor finishes on time, would has also said, well, they are not going to just implement the recommendation of the stakeholders at the summit just like that, without debating it at the ESCO level, and of course calling for input from the House of Assembly members. So when you look at all this hula baloo, or this debate about free education policy, once again we are bringing it to the front runner to find out from you, to find out from ourselves, parents, teachers, stakeholders in the education sector, what exactly are the impediments? Why is it difficult for us to go back to the free education policy as it was practiced then by the late sage Chief Obafemi Awolowo?
Now, when 164 countries, rather, Nigeria inclusive,
Yes,
pledged to achieve education for all by 2015 at a World Education Forum in Dakar, Senegal in 2000. That was in the year 2000. Hopes were high that by 2015, all school-aged children would have access to education, while adult illiteracy would be a thing of the past. Now, it's been 17 whole years afterwards. Such a long time to achieve such a goal.
yeah,
But with the less than, with 17 years gone by, concerned stakeholders have expressed fears, even over Nigeria's glaring inability to achieve that goal, especially when placed alongside the fact that Nigeria houses over 10.5 million out-of-school children. 35% of its young adults illiterate. And with no obvious efforts or structure being put in place by government towards achieving this inevitable feat. Now we have so many issues that this are fact, okay? And of course that was just 2015. By now we have over 10 million children who are out of school, who are not still literate, Nigerians for that matter. Now the future seems gloom. Let's think about this. Can we truly achieve that free education that we all have been talking about, that we've heard in time past, that we're still hearing? And some governments will still come in maybe in the year 2019, and it's still, or before 2019, that's still going to be the same song, free education for all. But so far so good. Can we truly say that we've had that? And well, some have said that it is not even feasible to have free education. Now go around the world, especially the developed world.
Yes.
There is nothing like free education. You pay for it to get it, and you get what you pay for. And in the actual sense, you know, a kind of a value for money. All right, but in Nigeria, parents are still talking about free education because that is what some governments will actually propose when wanting to come into power. Is it feasible? How feasible is that?
Well, that is it. This is what we've discussed on this morning on the show. Let us look at it together and let us see how we can have a common ground. That's hopefully before the end of the show. Hopefully we will get in touch once again with Mr. Aghemerio Wolabi, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Orientation in the administration of Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu. All right, in the meantime, we would welcome your contributions. You know, you can be part of it in 4 different ways. Is that you call the studio lines 0809-868-7344 or 0909-146-9670. You can also reach us via the short code 32120. All you have to do is to type ROCK, leave a space, type your message, include your name, and send to 32120.
All right, you can also call the studio lines. You can call either 0809-868-7344 or 0909-146-9670.
This Valentine coming from LA.
All right, thank you for calling, Valentine.
It's very, very achievable if only our greedy politicians will allow it. All the money we generate in this country, our resource money and the revenue money, 20% of it goes in the salary of these so-called politicians. If only they will agree to cut down their salaries and allowances, all these things is very, very achievable in this country. But they agree, we will never let it be there.
All right.
The light of the day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for calling.
I think the best thing is that we should just forget about this free education nonsense in this country. Because these politicians, as soon as they come in, they will win the people. Virtually all the political parties will promise free education, which they will not implement. The politicians are greedy, they are selfish, they are self-centered. So for God's sake, let everybody take consideration and let's stop deceiving Nigerians all over the place. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Dele.
Well, Dele is not on set now. This is.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Calling from the question.
All right.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Oh no, we lost that call. Please kindly call back. We'll appreciate you calling back. Thank you. So very much into Rock City 101.9 FM. Free education. How feasible is that in Nigeria? Should we even look at that? You know, should we turn to that side at all? Looking at the state of the education sector, even the economy, yes, and so many things happening right now, and it seems that everything seems crumbling. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my sister. Tobi, how are you again?
I'm fine.
I remain for that came. Look, free education is feasible in Nigeria, but corruption will not allow that. I just want to commend Governor Akeredolu for taking a bold step. Rather than hindering education and bringing it down to a level that is not
understanding, I think it is better to come out frankly to say I can no longer fund the education. You see, it has become just a mere political slogan. When Awolowo was there, he did his best, and it was possible then. Look at the resources now these days, but they will continue to loot. These politicians, for God's sake, I can hardly trust them. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, good morning, my sister. Good morning, Tobi.
Good morning.
My name is Honorable Aghemerio. I'm calling from the People's Parliament in Abeokuta. I think it's very, very achievable. It all depends on the spirit of our leaders and politicians. But let them cut, most of the Nigerian lives they are living. The governor wanted to travel, have almost 20 to 25 cars following in as convoys. All this. So I can face, education and give people an opportunity to be educated. It's one of the conditions that one can give anybody. I will have a lot of people that are even in Parliament have benefited from all that. So why not? They are very serious about. Good morning, obviously.
And you too. God bless you. Hello.
My name is Dr. Uncle. Let me start by saying one, free education, the Awolowo type, the one we have embedded in our mentality, is no more possible. No longer possible. You see, we keep on saying, oh, let politicians scale down their money. Oh, let governors scale down this one. Look, whether it's education, we knew about 3 months ago that even Iru is denominated in dollars. The women selling Iru were telling us that dollar is Tiwon and all that, and which is true. Our money is maybe trillion. It doesn't mean much in the market, in international forum, where we all meet and discuss. We source everything from there. This our money is too small. 1,000 naira is nonsense dollars. Is it $2 or $3 now, or some funny thing? So we don't have the money for it, but we can do something. We can subsidize it. Education. If you can buy a 40,000 naira phone for your child, and you cannot pay 25,000 naira, then something is wrong with you. If you can do a burial ceremony, what thousands, what millions, and then you can come and say, pay education for my child, something is wrong with our values. These are the values we should come down, and then we will start talking. It's no more possible. Even if politicians come and tell you that it's not possible anymore, the highest they can do is to subsidize it. Look, Aghemerio, go to nursery, any of the nurseries, whether they pay less than 35,000 naira a child. And some of our universities are paying 15,000, and we are quarreling. And what are we talking about? What are we talking? It's not possible anymore. We must have to sit down. Nowhere, as Riley said, nowhere in the whole world is education free. Nowhere in the world. That's one point in time. The reason is that it has gone beyond that. You have to pay for it because it's no more. We don't have funds again to do that. Forget about all these politicians, these 10 naira they're having. But if you convert it to dollars, it's $10 or something. Let us not be deceived by those values. Those values don't mean anything when it matters. So we should forget about it. How do we fund education? What will our parents say? Let it be affordable somehow. But free education, power. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Mr. Yahweh on the line.
All right, we have you. Good morning.
I believe that the free education is possible. If you are looking at it only from the point of literacy, but when you are talking about free and qualitative education, it is not possible, not at this time. Because when you look at even the parents themselves, what they spend when they are outside the governance or all this issue of payment consideration, just like the last caller said, how much does it take a parent now to train a child in nursery school? You pay more in the nursery school, primary school, and in the university where the certificate is higher, you just want to pay less. Workers are paid for more pay in consideration of more expenses. And when they receive this more pay, they don't want to pay for education. And so those in the education sector begin to suffer. And that is why when teachers are not well paid, because less money comes into the education sector, and then we begin to complain about low quality education. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hello.
good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I'm Prince Ovio. I'm speaking from Oaikhenan here in Abeokuta.
All right, thank you for calling.
With unemployment rising at an alarming rate, if education got free, it will be suicidal. The free education which the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo introduced during his time helped millions of people who could have been forgotten. People came into prominence because they were educated. We have enough resources in this country to manage free education, at least at secondary school level. We have the resources. Or, instead of outright cancellation, it could be subsidized. That's my take this morning. Good morning.
All right, good morning. Should be subsidized rather. Thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
We have you. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Victor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm speaking from this morning. My take on this matter is that free education as far as I'm concerned is possible, provided our leaders, the politicians, provided they decide within their mind to love the people. Potentially in the Southwest, let me base my this morning on Southwest. If we imagine how much we use, the volume of money we invest on buying a PC, equipping our security outfit, by the time you compare this to what education requires, you know that education can be funded as free as possible. Because if you refuse to invest in education, free education for the people, you know you are going to invest heavily on security. That will be so enormous. After that, the APC government, they have promised during the course of their campaign is, heavily based on free education. Why turning at the middle of when they get the mandate, they decide to turn around the table again? So I believe it's possible if governors will refuse buying millions, numbers of millions in dollars, changing cars, advisors, and so on and so forth. If all these words are invested in education, education can be free for at least from primary school level to secondary school level. So it's possible when a politician, when they decide to change from this expensive extravagant life they are living. Thank you. Good morning.
Okay.
Yes. Kabalino Green is my name.
All right, thank you for
Only
calling.
from from here in Africa. You see, it is the stakeholders in the sector that can tell us how feasible is the solution is. And we should not forget that here in Ogun State too, they have told our governor that he should stop the education he is doing in the state. And that is why he stopped the WAEC. Because they know that it is not possible. They know what they are facing, the stakeholder in the sector, they know what they are facing. That there is nothing like free education at all. And they even told the governor that it is this issue of free education that is making this most especially the secondary school students, that is making them to be serious, because their parents are not paying for the education, so they are just doing anyhow in the school. They will not listen to the lessons. They will not listen to the teachers. They are beating the teachers, so they are not paying for it. So that's why they are now agitating for the government to stop the free education. That's why he to stop the payment of WAEC. So that is my take. Good morning.
All right, thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Tobi. Good morning, Aghemerio.
Good
I'm
morning.
Paula Oluwadi. I'm calling from Abeokuta. Let me say, the 1979 Constitution provides that government shall direct its policy towards ensuring that there are equal and adequate educational opportunities at all levels. Shall promote science and technology. 3. Government shall to eradicate illiteracy, and to this end, government shall, as when practicable, provide free, compulsory, and universal primary education, free secondary education, free university education, and adult literacy program. The Unity Party of Nigeria of the party said that the constitutional provision of
when practicable, that phrase will not impede its own plan to implement free education at all levels. The party then went ahead to implement own conception of free education. Free education can be implemented and it is still very feasible and practicable. Just do it according to your own conception as you speak will remain enough to better the life of the citizens. If YSPs are dropped, no qualms. The conference also should not abdicate all responsibility. They should afford to share part of the responsibility if need be. And the other aspects of free education can be borne by the government. A government that can afford free PD can afford free education. Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank you.
Hello, morning.
Thank you for taking my call. My name is Aghemerio Robert.
Thank you for calling, Dr. Robert. It's been a while.
Thank you. Free education, especially at the primary level, is unavoidable. When Germany was worried at the Second World War, when Japan was scared after the Second World War, it was not the oil or natural resources or mineral resources. It was the people. The people are the only enduring resource any nation can have. Those who are saying some people should pay for their primary education or should pay for education are not taking into account the Alaru, the deprived people, those who go around the street begging, who carry their children around. And those who pay for education, but those ones have to be uplifted. A chain is as strong as its weakest link. As long as these people are in society, then that society is a poorer for it. The society has to be lifted up. You have to design a policy which funds education at that level. Free food. It's in the Millennium Development Goals. It's everywhere. We've known this for decades and decades. I will never retract from all what he said, or all what he did. We are in the development plans, which we are in the libraries of the world. Education is the only thing you can give your people. I don't understand. Good morning, and thank you again.
Thank you for your contribution. We appreciate you.
This is Gio Shikade calling from Ashero.
We have you.
I think, yes, it is rather sad for us to, to believe that nothing is impossible. If we have the will for us to be able to, do things that, that will gladden the hearts of the youth citizen, free education, can be possible at the primary and first 3 years of the secondary education. We have the resources. Look at all the, trillions that we turn out every year, concerning the budget. Where are they being, spent or expended on? So for people to not believe that, yes, university education is quite expensive, and education is, of course, expensive, but government, when we have the will and we manage,
Hello.
we cannot do this. It is possible for us to be able, to educate our people, so that at the end of the day, we have a future, that is bright and brighter for the generation unborn. That is my submission. It's not.
Hello, we lost the call too. All right, thank you for your submission. Hello. Hello, good morning. Hello? Oh no. Please, when you have the volume on your radio set down, you can call back. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm Sunday, okay?
Thank you for calling.
To contribute, I wanted to say that especially the education in the Southwest regarding Aghemerio.
Hello, please. Can you turn down the volume on your radio set?
Yes, I've done that.
All right, thank you.
Recently, because of the paucity of fund and the number of people that are having an education presently, it is not possible to run free education. So what people should now clamor for is affordable qualitative education.
All right. Hello.
Hello?
All right, we're still with you.
Okay.
Oh no, we lost that call too. Moving back to the tweet, I just said Olufemi tweeted, free education in Nigeria will continue to make it worse. However, it can be subsidized. And we got this from Yomi Da Vinci. Countries as small as Estonia have been able to deliver free and quality education up to university level. Why can't Nigeria? And still from Yomi Da Vinci, Nigeria is a country that does not like to prioritize what is important. All the money spent on pilgrimage and call we no serious. And we got this tweet from Professor Agbola AAA. It says, I'm a product of free education. It is very possible to have free education up to the university level if we have sincere leaders in Nigeria. So from Professor Agbola AAA, I could have remained a radio and TV technician if not for the free education of Papa Awolowo. Many potential professors are in our villages. Egunjobi Ganiyu tweeted too, education in Nigeria can only be subsidized but not free. Those that claim it are just paying the lip service. And Baba T tweeted, things aren't even free in Freetown. Even the advanced countries that have the financial power and muscle don't do free education. Baba T tweeted still, some people even go ahead to read the constitution when the provisions aren't practicable and feasible. Baba T tweeted again, that's why all we produce in Nigeria are mostly substandard, because we either want them free or cheap. Baba T tweeted again, subsidize education? Yes. Make it free outrightly? No. The government needs to devise policies that will help the less privileged. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we have a complaint
Your name, please.
about our.
Your name.
Oh, I'm Emmanuel by name.
All right, Emmanuel.
And our soldier on the way, please.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Emmanuel. You will have to send that as message, or you call on Friday, open day.
On Friday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Today we have a topic for discussion, and we cannot deviate. All right. Thank you.
They are coming from the BBA in Abeokuta. Let's forget the other one to the one to do the free education in 1955. Let's start from 1980, during this Nabanjo's era. The first of all started free education, free textbooks, free drugs and veggies, etc. But when it came to 1983 upwards, they introduced what we call education levy of 25 naira by day. Free education is not feasible. Even look at this feasible in some of our primary schools nowadays. Not all schools, not all states that are catering for this free are being catered for. Not all schools. Just a minute number of them. So, to some Yoruba would say, that is my take this morning. Thank you and God bless.
All right. God bless you too. Thank you.
We should just read some of the messages we got, and then we'll go on a break for the national news. Going back to the tweet, we got this tweet from Isaac Oloyede. The federal government should have taken up free education in primary school in the country instead of free feeding the embark upon in class 1 to class 4. That is primary 1 to 4. And Egujobi Ganiyu tweeted, still, I'm with the opinion that parents also need to do their quota towards the education of their children. Olatunde Tijani tweeted, the era of free education is gone for good. The population has seriously overshadowed that of the our era, subsidization and free indigent education. Yes. All right. And then Kule Gap tweeted, free education is possible in Nigeria if our leaders can attend such school free in the childhood days. What stops them from giving it to people? Olatunde Tijani tweeted, free and qualitative education for all is impossible. Scholarship subsidization, free indigent and adult literacy should be considered. And we got this from Kule Gap. Some of our leaders enjoyed free education up till the university days. What stops them from doing the same thing? And we got this one from Olatunde Tijani. Free and qualitative education for all is impossible. All right. he retweeted that message. And then we got this Eniola Aghemerio. Free education is possible only if our leaders will put all necessary machineries in place to make it work. Well, at this point in time, we need to go on a break for the national news and to also have a commercial break. And when we return, we will continue on this discussion. This is Stay to Rock City, 101.9 FM.
You listen to the Daybreak Show, Rock City, 101.9 FM. Yes, indeed. I also believe that it will be better. One day, we'll be able to beat our chest and say, yes, we made it and we did it. Welcome once again to Citizens Forum on the Daybreak Show, the spirit for Wednesday morning, November the 1st, 2017. What we're looking at this morning is the education sector, looking at how feasible is free education, going by the economic downturn and economic realities in the country. So many state governments have tried to implement the policy and the program. But of course, it has been one challenge or the other. Ondo State government is currently battling with that right now. A summit on education was organized. Stakeholders in that sector were put together to brainstorm on how they can actually get out of the situation they find themselves. And the proponents of opinion of these stakeholders is that the free education program should be stopped. But of course, the National Assembly is disagreeing that before you do just that, let members who represent various constituencies, families, parents, and guardians who are affected, who they represent, should be able to debate this issue on the floor of the State House of Assembly before a final decision will be made. That is what we're looking at this morning. You can be part of our discussion. You can call the studio lines 0809-868-7344.
And taking some tweets, we got here Eniola Aghemerio tweeted, most of our leaders today are products of free education. Misplaced priority is one of the major problems. And we got this one from Yusuf Tobi Loba. If it's possible for our politicians to embezzle millions and billions of our precious naira, then free education is possible. Jonathan Olajide tweeted, parents will monitor their votes, learning closely when they pay the fees from primary to secondary level. Okay, Tobi, do we have messages there?
Yes, we have some. This one says, yes, free education is possible if a car given to a legislator in the House of Rep can be purchased for 17 million naira. Elder A.O. Shodipo sent in that message. And this one says, what are we getting free in this country? Absolutely nothing. So what are we talking about? Let's forget about free things and look unto God. IK from E4 sent in that message. All right, more messages are trickling in. Let's just take this call and then we'll be back with more messages.
Hello.
Hello.
Fine, thank you.
My name is Joseph.
Good morning.
How are you? How's life with you?
I'm fine.
Happy new month to both of you there.
Same to you.
I am Taiwan, your body from Tapon area. Yes, let us deceive ourselves. There are no good planners in this country any longer. For Bafemi, when we wanted to start, we call it Action Group, the man with a plan. He had foresight. He planned very well. Free textbooks. Or those who say yes, they gave us free textbooks, but these books were taken back and given to the next economy. If there are good planners, free education is possible. But good planners, incorruptible people, honest, who want to go, good leaders who want to govern very well and see that they govern very well. It can be done. But corruption will not allow us. Plenty of money in this country.
excuse me. But look at the money the legislators are earning without permission to have free education. Look at how many ministers we have. Look at the fleet of cars ministers are having, legislators are having. Can that allow us to have free education in this country? No. Unless they plan very well. That is seeing this presidential system of government. Let's sit down and plan together. Then free education can be possible. Thank you very much.
All right, God bless you too. Hello. Hello.
Are you with me?
Yes, we're with you. Good morning.
I am Mr. Olakilani calling from Abeokuta. I feel free education is possible if with prudent management of our resources. Our leaders are not really engaging in prudent management of our resources. That is why we are in problems. You consider the huge amount of money being really sent abroad by corrupt people. You know, free education is possible. I mean, quality free education in terms of providing infrastructure and all that in all our institutions. But if you say the population in our schools is exploding, well, I am suggesting that for now, let us provide high quality free education from primary to junior secondary level. From there, we start off. When Awolowo was alive, he was able to provide free education because he engaged in prudent management of our resources. Why can't we emulate those past leaders in what we do? Corruption should be removed in the system. And that's another thing. Giving free education in this country. Thank you. Bye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Mr. Walker is my name. Free education is possible if we have good planners and follow the educational policies. The national policy of education, free education is possible. People are talking of the level having free education during his time. Yes, I was one of them. When I started primary one, it was free, but I was buying books myself. I was doing everything myself. I got to the secondary school, I was paying in the secondary school, but for primary school, no payment. So if the national policy of education that we are following now is education should be compulsory for people in primary school and junior secondary school, okay, let's follow that. Let's have the free education towards that. And when they campaign, when politicians campaign, they say free education, free education, free education. What part of the education is free? Is it tuition? Is it hostel accommodation? Is it feeding? Is it this? They should highlight all this. Free education, go to school, learn, and be able to read and write. That was the policy, that was the ideology of Awolowo. This time around, what are we following? Economically, we should have technical education. If even those days we are going to centers for carpentry works. So let's look at how we can diversify our education. But free education is possible in Nigeria, considering what money people are spending, what money people are keeping in their coffers.
When you say diversify, hello,
possible.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when you say diversify education, what exactly are you saying?
So what?
When you say let us find out ways to diversify our education, what are you driving at?
I am trying to say that we have just that time during the Awolowo time. We have town settlements. People are sent there, learn of agriculture. We have institutions like this Aghemerio those days in Abeokuta, where they go and learn carpentry work. So we can do that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Oaikhenan.
We
Hello?
hear you. Good morning. Yeah.
My name is Oaikhenan.
All right. Good Good
Yeah,
morning.
good morning. Tobi.
Morning.
I'm Wahid. I'm calling from Abeokuta. Yes, there could be free education, no? That could be. But I will not hand over my words, my children, to government to send them to school or to sponsor them. I will not. I will not. You know, because of this issue of some people are just looking at an angle of this matter we are talking about. But in a way, government are wasting a whole lot of money. Now, in Ogun State here, and let me be specific, in Abeokuta South, part of free education in Ogun State is this issue of payment of WAEC. Now, in 2012, no single student of public secondary school could have single result that can afford him the opportunity of getting admission into higher institution. In 2013, same thing. And in 2014, same thing until 2015. And all these years, government were paying a routine amount of money to WAEC on this issue of the SSC examination fee. Are we not wasting money? Are we saying everything is on government? Are we not saying parents are not having roles to play also? So that is just it. In Ogun State here, we are having an issue. We are saying we are educated. We are saying we are educated, but some of us are not enlightened. We are saying, oh, government should sponsor, government should have free education. But that means that we don't have any role to play as parents. Now, if you are saying they should get anything from school, parents will follow their work to the school and be asking parents, parents, the government has given us free education. So why are you asking for this again? Is free education saying parents should not contribute to education of their children? So all these are things we need to look at. We can see because of the free education we are talking, we don't have that qualitative education again. The quality of education has gone down drastically in the country, especially in the state where they are having free education. We need to really say to fine, we can have free education, but there must be a way that parents too, even students, should also contribute to their education. It is very, very important. Or else, parents too will not have anything to do about that because if they are having their children playing, they will not even tell them to go and take their studies, to go and carry their book and all that. They will be saying it is the government that will pay, and they will relent. But if they know they are paying something on their children, they will not allow their parents, their work to just be playing and roaming straight about. So that is my position. Let us sit down. Government will contribute. The parents too will have the way of contributing, and students themselves too, they will have the way of contributing to this issue of education we are talking about. So that the government will not be wasting money that is supposed to divert to another thing and wasting it on their own free education that is not fruitful. So that is my position this morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We got the tweet from Yemida Vinci. When Baba Wulo was coming in, he promised free education and he was told it wasn't possible. With prudence, he achieved it. Yemida Vinci tweeted again, the least any 21st century government should do is to give free basic education. That is the minimum bar. And Yemida Vinci tweeted again, the choice is simple. Spend money in education or spend it on building prisons and coping with an uneducated mass of citizens. Hello? Hello? Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. We have you.
God bless you. I'm Jimo Akela from Odessa.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Free education is possible at all levels, from kindergarten even to the second degree at the university level. What does it take to educate somebody if the government is headed by serious-minded people? Look at the, you do yourself, take the number of school children or students, however you want to put it. And after students who want to really take maybe 10 or 12 subjects, that's about 24 textbooks. Then maybe some number of exercise books, writing materials. Then get all these school, the classroom books ready. Employ qualified teachers, put them there. And get experts to decide how much to pay them. Pay them good salary. All this money we are wasting up and down, traveling, buying vehicles, building, constructing buildings that not going to serve any meaningful purpose to humanity. Pay teachers. Get them going to educate people and reform minds. Then society will be better for it. So I can't agree with anybody that says we cannot run the free education.
We can run it. Let us get serious. Let us restructure our mind. Let us do the needful and stop gallivanting up and down and do waiting ventures. Good morning.
All right, good morning.
All right, thank you.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Tobi.
Good morning.
Good morning, no. Good morning, my sister. I'm Kyle Olumide from Abekuta. Let me tell you, anybody that tells you that free education cannot be given to our youth or people that have lesser mind is telling us lies. You see, the purpose for leadership is to inspire every follower to become a leader and fulfill his potential. You see, when you have discovered yourself as a leader, then you will have a unique purpose and identity to only contribute to the lives of those less privileged. So nobody should come up with us in this 21st century where they steal, they loot, and then they probably stash our money abroad. Most of their children, they came back here to work. Most of their children, they go back there, they go down there to learn. Why can't they put their children in the public school here? Is that because they are not interested in most of us that are here struggling and then probably seeing how we can be able to be measured with them? Whereas cannot be able to be measured adequately with each who we call our here. So I believe if they are so effective enough, they should probably see the reason why they must go ahead to continue to give free education, qualitative one indeed, for everybody that are ready to learn. And that is my take this morning. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you too. Hello.
Uh, my own point is that free education is possible in Nigeria rather. But what is happening is that we are all at fault. When Baba Awolowo started free education, there were secondary schools and tertiary schools. He started with primary schools. They came back in 1979 to include secondary schools. Do we have good statistical database? The teachers we are talking about, when government wants to pay running costs, if you have 100 students, they will inflate it. We are not even sure who is going to be honest. We're all blaming politicians, Yes, politicians, probably we don't prioritize our programs. Because if we're supposed to spend on free education, then we should minimize what we spend on roads and some other things. Then we'll convert the money onto free education. But people will keep agitating for free education, they'll keep agitating for this, for that. And it is easy for government to say, okay, what can I do that people will praise me? Something people can easily see. So that is hypocritical. But that is what is happening. So rulers are responsible, masses are responsible, teachers are responsible, everybody is responsible. But if we get our acts together and we say, okay, I am responsible, let the things start from each individual, then free education can be done in Nigeria, at least to secondary school level. That's my submission.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hello. Taking some tweets we got here. Baba tweeted again. Here is my proposal. That is, if we must make it free. Education can be free to the GSS level, but not to the SSS level. Still coming from Baba T. After GSS, vocational and technical education should be the thing because not every child wants to go to school but prefer learning a trade. And we got this one from Baba T again. Government should build vocational and technical learning centers in the state in order to reduce the bottleneck in school education. And still from Baba T, the parents also need to contribute to the education of the student or children. It shouldn't be left to the government alone by wanting education free outrightly. We got this one from Dolani Robert. Greed and corruption will not make our leaders give us free education. Tobi, do we have messages there?
Yes, we have messages. This particular one says, free education is not possible. Even the little government is doing, parents do not encourage them. They send their children to private, nursery, and primary schools with unqualified teachers. Yemi from Abeokuta sent in that. Um, I support free education, but the parents also must come in through the PTA so that quality education will be provided. Meanwhile, from Ayetoro sent in that one. I support free education, but okay. Meanwhile, sent in that message twice. Um, this one says it is very possible, but with these our Jegudu Jara politicians we have in Nigeria, it will not work. Free education must be financed somehow by the public. Here is the misconception. Cosmos from People Center in Abeokuta sent in that message.
Or we go back to the call 08.
Yes, my name is Comrade Nathan Warimoko from Abeokuta. Hello.
We can hear you.
Yes. I've expressed my misgiving about the possibility of free education. But I see of the standing opinion that for now, I think there is a paradise shift from, public school to private school. Who talk of Babawolowo? I want to give it to Babawolowo. Even if Babawolowo happens to be the current president of Nigeria today, I don't think that it will be very possible for him to run an effective education, program. Number one, because of the high population of students going to school, there is a kind of law of demand and supply into our educational system. And the higher students, we have more universities, and because we have high demand and high supply of universities, definitely the price will be somehow exorbitant. I mean, the school fees. But I believe that the government can do one thing. It can only make education to be affordable and accessible for the students. I could remember vividly when I was entering into, a grade degree program, I paid 3,000 naira. But now, it has skyrocketed to like 300,000 naira. So what are we talking about? Then, in our days, it was affordable. So that's why it was not free. But these days, it is expensive and it is not affordable. So government should try as much as possible to make it affordable and accessible. Through the disbursement of scholarship, reducing fees drastically. So most of our public schools now, they are running shoulder to shoulder. Private schools talking about school fees. So my take today is that education can never be free, but it can be affordable and accessible if the government have the political will to put money.
All right, thank you.
Got the comments on our Facebook page. Eminence Mayor says free education for all is not yet feasible because the economy doesn't grow, revenue doesn't increase. Nobody can say when ultimately free education for everyone is on the table. But until the current economic situation is met. All right, Adewale Shubuale says, apart from being a constitutional right, I believe free education is possible, feasible, and achievable if and only if our various governments set their priorities right. As it is, if the governments are not going to offer free education, let them not promise it at campaigns. For now, the so-called free education being practiced is nothing but a sham. How much did the state government spend on so-called model schools? If the funds had been pumped into a free education program, how would it have been? By the way, what percentage of our budget is going to education? And what is the UNESCO standard? Okay, I'm sorry to be taking your time, but I just thought I should inform the Nigerian public that the President of France announced that at the last United Nations Summit that his country will be offering free education to all students, at least up to the college level. And we are saying we are the giants of Africa. Yes, K-legged giants. Yeah, that's Adewale Shobwale posting those comments. Okay, he said the president of Ghana actually. Making free quality primary, secondary, and university education available to all will impose a greater burden on the present economy. And this could examine, for instance, past and present models of university free education globally. Furthermore, the reality is that some Nigerians will benefit more from education than others, where education expenses can be made affordable for all. God bless Nigeria. All right, that's Eminence Mayor posted on our Facebook page once again. All right, let's go to the short code messages. Okay, we have just one here from IK in A4. And it says, what do we expect to happen in the country, whether it's selfish and corrupt politicians? What else do we expect when our rulers are sending their children abroad to study, funding them with public money? Some people are speaking as if they don't know where the problem is or where the solution is. Unless we sign it into law and put a stop on it, that our leaders will no longer send the kids outside the country to study. Without that, we'll keep on running around in circles until Jesus will come. All right, that is IK from before.
I will pick a couple of calls more. Hello. Good morning. Thank you.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you. Good morning. Oh no, because we could.
I want to contribute to what you are discussing this morning.
Please do.
To me, I would rather say the government of today are just deceiving people. They are just deceiving the citizen of Nigeria. And they are using money to do other things. Why can't they use, if not even 100% of whatever we are having to sponsor free education in Nigeria? At least they can do it practically than saying they are not with the boss. And most of them, that is what they use in their campaign to convince people. And most of them, according to what people have been saying this morning, enjoying free education right from their primary school, secondary school, and their university level. And today they are now saying it's not possible. And spending our resources on necessary things. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We got this tweet from Olusoji Oladende. Extension of free education by Awolowo was political deceit. That it is fruitful earlier never means that they want it to last. Eastern wasn't held. And Olusoji Oladende tweeted again, anything gotten freely won't warrant me to have a say since it's free. But if I pay for service, I can measure if it's worth appropriately. All right, this tweet came from Olusoji Oladende. We should be able to accommodate a call more. Hello. We eventually lost our call.
This is where we draw the curtains of the show this beautiful morning. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your contributions this morning on the show. Happy New Month once again. I am Tobi Joseph.
And I am Aghemerio Oaikhenan.